Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, I'm going to show you all how deep the rabbit hole goes, how interconnected Ripple is with the global financial infrastructure that they are building behind the scenes, that they are talking about using new private sector digital money, for example, like XRP, the cryptocurrency, and digital asset. If you all enjoy these video breakdowns, make sure that you do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I'm really going to enjoy putting this video together for you all. And if you all cannot see after this video breakdown what it is that they are building and what it is that they're trying to tell you, then I don't know what else to show you. So devil's in the details. We're going to be paying attention to key vocabulary, and I'm going to also play some video clips for you guys. I'm going to attempt to make this video as short as possible. So we're going to start here on the Bank of England website because it reminds me of something that a gentleman said at a conference that Ripple hosted back in 2023, where he goes on to mention that the central bankers will be issuing currency, but then the private sector will be the ones moving the money.
But one of the goals for designing this well would be to build a platform upon which the private sector can build higher end services, can make the money usable in other circumstances. So yes, we would want it to be programmable in some sense, not by us, but by the private sector. We supply the money, the private sector makes it usable in various circumstances.
Right? So here it goes on to read, a digital pound will be like a digital form of cash, a banknote for the digital era, like banknotes. It would be issued directly by the Bank of England. If we introduced it, which we know they are, it would not replace cash. We know being able to use cash is important for many people. That's why we will continue to issue it for as long as people want to keep using it. You would simply have even more of a choice when you make payments. Keep this statement in mind because it comes back when we go over to the Bank of Japan. So here you can see that they talk about it being directly issued by the Bank of England, referring back to what the gentleman said at the conference hosted by Ripple. Everything that I'm going to show you in today's video breakdown in some way, shape, or form is tied or connected to Ripple. How are we connecting this to Ripple? You can see right here, Digital Pound membership, Ripple and Quant are both members of the Digital Pound Foundation. Now, this also reminds me of something that a speaker said at the IMF International Conference last year in 2023 in November, that the private sector, digital money, has a clear role in the new financial system.
And nothing is more important to us than the partnerships that we've built with different countries. We're honored to be working globally with many central banks. I think we've publicly released 6 governments that we're working with. Most recently, we announced a partnership with the National Bank of Georgia. We're honored to be working with them. We have several others that we're working with privately. All of those projects are unique and different.
Yet, in our digital era, we encounter novel player to the system, private sector issued digital money. They include crypto asset and stable coins rooted in groundbreaking technologies like blockchain. Policymakers are still contemplating how to deal with the digital money in today's financial landscape. There is clear recognition of their potential to fill the gap of our current finance and monetary system.
So again, take that into consideration. Now we're going to head over here to this PDF. This is from the Bank of Japan, second general meeting of the CBDC forum. This is updated from January 2024. This is going to blow your mind, so be paying attention. And here it goes on to say, systems for a future digital society. So we know where all of this is headed. And remember, I'm not sitting here saying that XRP is going to be worth $1,000 or anything like that, but it will be implemented into the new financial infrastructure, into this new digital society that they are building. It is necessary for CBDCs, stablecoins, and cryptocurrencies to coexist in the future of this new financial system. And we have had confirmation from large market participants and major organizations confirming that that is to be the case.
What are the design choices they're making so that those CBDCs are interoperable with stablecoins, with cryptocurrencies, with the multitude of wallets that Dave will talk about in the future?
It was interesting what came out of that, and very interesting to see CBDCs as a complement to other forms of private money. I don't think we'll have just one form of digital currency in the future. We'll have many, and they'll have different strengths.
Number 4 is interoperability. We actually think about this from day one. It's not something we think about later on. And this is all about how do we connect with the domestic system, the current system in the countries, but other systems, you know, CBDCs, stable coins, native cryptos, they will all be part of the future. And they all need to work together. And in somehow, we need to make that happen. So we think about that a lot.
And what will be required. And that's what we think about at Ripple. We think about a CBDC as a full ecosystem that encompasses different instruments, different actors, and ultimately different use cases. So when we think about different instruments, yes, we're talking about central bank digital currency. We're also talking about private money. We're talking about stablecoin, tokenized deposit. We might be talking about native cryptocurrencies. All of these things we anticipate coexisting in some fashion in a mature marketplace, subject to regulatory frameworks that allow for them to interoperate along different corridors. But we're building for that. We're building for that future.
So here it says, need to be discussed with various stakeholders. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. CBDCs could have more of a function than merely as a payment instrument alongside cash. So there they go, mentioning just like how the Bank of England mentioned that they're not here to replace cash, just here to enhance it, could serve as a basis for innovation of private service providers to offer various new payment services. New payment services. You all see that right there, right? As long as there is a public demand for cash, the bank will stay committed to supplying it. So it's the same reference that the Bank of England made, right? Here you can see they're not looking to replace cash, they're looking to enhance it. As long as the public demands cash, they will continue to supply it. So, but the most interesting part about this is look at who participated in this CBDC forum. We have members like SBI R3. We have members like SoftBank Japan, right down here. We have members like Japan Post Bank. We have members like, sorry if I butcher this, but Sumitomo, right here, okay? And would it be a coincidence? I think not. All of them are freaking Ripple partners, people, okay? You cannot make this up. I wish that I was sitting here making this information up, and I know that it seemed very conspiratorial, but it's not. It is a fact. Here you can see. I hope I'm not butchering this. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking, probably butchered the crap out of that, or CMBC, and Japan Post Bank have joined SBI Ripple Asia to tap its technology for payments and settlement, right? Again, this is outdated. It's 2017, but we know that they have been building this infrastructure, this new financial system for years now. And if you can't see that, like I said, I don't know what else to show you, because remember, this information, all these lists, all these partners right here that participate in the CBDC forum, here we see SBI R3. Moving on to the list to further our case. We welcome MUFG, one of the largest and most advanced banks in the world, to the growing number of Ripple customers moving actual money across borders instantly. While many others continue to play in the sandbox, we are thrilled MUFG has joined us in our mission to revolutionize payments globally, said Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse, CEO, right? And we see the list. MUFG Bank is right there, updated 2024. Then here we also see SBI Remit, part of SoftBank Group in Japan, partnered with Ripple in January 2016. So again, it's been ongoing for some time. But now back to the R3 mention on this document, SBI R3 Japan. And remember, what is this for? The CBDC forum. Okay, look at the connections. You remember I posted this on the X Space just a couple days ago. Do you think that this is a freaking coincidence? It's not. People, look, okay? Who thinks it's by accident that the new director of business development, CBDC, and digital assets at Ripple got the job and previously worked where? At R3 for 6 years. Okay, look at this. This is from Mark L, Building the Future of Money. Remember what this says? Talks about the future of money. You cannot make this stuff up. Here it says the future payment and settlement systems, right? Like, if you know what's being built right now, it's not hard to see this stuff. And here he goes on to say, with the approval of the Bitcoin ETF, the world of traditional finance has heralded in the age of cryptocurrency going mainstream. I am extremely impressed by the Ripple's robust enterprise blockchain solutions and public XRP ledger that have stood the test of time well over a decade, processing billions of transactions and helping companies and individuals move money in seconds with absolutely security and finality. And here you can see he mentioned that he worked at R3 for over 6 years. Here's his rap sheet, R3, 6 years, Singapore, head of ecosystems and development, APAC. Okay. So this is not a freaking coincidence, people. This is all by design.
Major global countries are preparing for the possibility that distributed ledgers and blockchain technology will be used in the financial sector.
The individuals working on the CBDC forum, interconnected and partners with Ripple. We see individuals from R3 joining Ripple for what? Specifically. It's not about random positions. He is here for the development, leading business development for CBDC and digital assets, and worked at R3 for over 6 years, right? And you can see the interconnectedness. Now, I posted this as well. This one was very interesting. Here I said, nothing to see here, just a Ripple partner, ACI Worldwide, at an up-and-coming summit talking about crypto rails with Swift, MasterCard, and Visa, whom we know MasterCard is a partner of Ripple. That was recently announced last year in 2023 and was speculated on in previous years by influencers that got laughed at. For example, 24 Hours Crypto, I believe, told you guys that MasterCard was a partner of Ripple before it became mainstream back in like 2020, 2019, okay? And now, just in 2023, that information was released. Remember, NDAs are a thing. They're not going to tell you every single thing that they are working on behind the scenes. Here you can see this new Pay 360 event that's happening up and coming this year. We can see ACI Worldwide sitting on a panel discussion with Swift and whatnot, connections with Visa, right? And here, what are they going to be talking about? Again, here's that mention. This is now the third post where it says what? The future of payments. The future of payments is not going to happen now. It's going to happen in the next couple of months / years. It's going to take time to develop. But what are they discussing? Crypto beyond the rails. How could traditional payment and crypto merge? And remember, ACI Worldwide directly on their website. You go here, this is aciworldwide.com. Okay, you can see right at the top, it says, banks usually keep foreign currency reserves in what are called nostro accounts in order to be ready to fulfill a cross-border payment, according to R3. Interesting how that works. This practice essentially forces banks to trap capital. The digital currency XRP, which offers settlement speeds as fast as 5 seconds, Bitcoin, so it thrashes Bitcoin here, can take up to 10 minutes, offers banks an alternative. Now, keep this sentence in mind, offers banks an alternative, because this is going to play an imperative role when we head over to the directional bias of the IMF that they're giving through their PDF fundamentals. The trial was successful, demonstrated that banks could make markets for fiat currencies using XRP in the Ripple network, complete authenticated payments without multiple nostro accounts, enabling them to cut costs and develop additional revenue opportunities. ACI Worldwide has this directly on their website. ACI Worldwide sitting on a panel discussion with, i.e., obviously, of course, them being themselves a Ripple partner, sitting on a panel discussion with other Ripple partners alongside Visa and Swift, talking about crypto being used as payment rails for the future of the payment system. Do you all freaking see this? Like, it's so easy to see, people. It just takes time. So now, let's head over to this interesting part. Do you all remember, before we get into this IMF PDF, that at the panel discussion IMF International Conference last year in November that took place, the managing director of the IMF specifically said that crypto is not going away.
That takes us to look into the future. We must consider the effects if crypto assets become widespread. The scenario is not far-fetched. They may. For one, they're certainly not going away.
Reason why I'm showing you all this is because look at what this says, okay? This is talking about DM, or digital money. Here you can see a screenshot directly from the PDF where it mentions crypto payment systems, an intermediary, i.e. crypto, or some type of ledger being the intermediary between payment sender and payment recipient, i.e. A to B, okay? And look at what they say here. We are in the midst of a digital revolution. This is coming directly from the IMF PDF. And it says, the findings of this paper suggest that to the extent that DMs lead to higher transaction efficiency, DM stands for digital money, it could become more broadly adopted. Again, pay attention to the vocabulary. It could become more broadly adopted for cross-border payment purposes alongside, again, pay attention to the key vocabulary, alongside existing currencies. The benefits from lower transactions cost and greater financial interconnectedness could lead to greater diversification of risks, stronger trade relationships, and integration of international payment systems. In turn, these could spur the adoption of digital monies as international reserve assets. Let me freaking show you that they're talking about XRP. So, do you all remember this PDF here? If I scroll up to the top, this is directly from the IMF, Trust Bridges, and money flows, a digital marketplace to improve cross-border payments. So in an updated document, right, from 2024, you can see This is updated from 2024 International Monetary Fund, where they're talking about using digital money as a means of cross-border transactions, i.e. crypto payment systems. We heard the IMF director stating in 2023 that crypto is not going away, that it's here to stay. Again, that CBDCs and cryptocurrencies, digital assets will all coexist in the future. Like, look at this. Okay, so on this IMF document, this is from, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 2022 or 2023. But look at what it says here. Let me zoom in. A marketplace trading only privately issued monies would be riskier, though it is possible. Second, the marketplace model is equally agnostic, but with which currencies are traded. The choice of currencies is likely to evolve indigenously. The above examples assumed a direct exchange between coins in A and B currency. So do you all see how they say right here, it is possible? So moving on, if we continue on through this PDF, further our argument, it says, another question is whether the public or private sectors should be or will be involved. While the most efficient or socially desirable setup may be debated, the private sector is rapidly building this infrastructure. Do you remember at Davos, at the beginning of the year, Brad Garlinghouse sitting in on an interview mentioning that they are focused on what? Building the infrastructure. They're focused on infrastructure.
Look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company serving enterprises. We started with payments and financial institutions. We've moved into custody, a lot of overlap with those same financial institutions. But we're going to expand with that same thematic of infrastructure, enterprise-based. It served us well.
If you have not watched any of my previous video breakdowns confirming how embedded Ripple is with building this new financial infrastructure, then go watch some of the previous video breakdowns. Brad Garlinghouse specifically said this key vocabulary word at the Davos event in front of the world in 2024, rapidly building the infrastructure. Now, check this out to go even further. Here it says, 3 models arise. A private settlement asset and marketplace such as Ripple's XRP and open source marketplace such as the Stellar Foundation, or more recently DeFi networks and marketplace and settlement assets based on unbacked crypto assets. So they specifically mention XRP. They're talking about digital money. And they say in the previous text right here that it is possible. Although it is risky, again, it's not likely going to only be privately issued monies. It's going to be an environment where all of these cryptocurrency assets, digital assets like CBDCs coexist in the future together. I cannot stress enough, it's clear in the pudding what they're trying to tell you guys is happening behind the scenes. If you haven't watched any of the previous video breakdowns, goes to show that they are for a fact building a new financial system. They tell you that in their PDFs. They show you the partnerships. It's up to us to put this information together. The mainstream is not going to go outright and show you this stuff. You're going to need to pick up on the breadcrumbs. You're going to need to stay disciplined and focused on the long term. Many blessings to you guys. Remember that this space is not for everybody. If you're not interested in XRP, you're not interested in investing, then guess what? Then this is not for you. But for those individuals that want to experience the potential of life-changing wealth, that are willing to take on the risk and do the research, this presents a massive opportunity. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there. Again, I'm not telling you guys to go out there and buy the digital asset, but what I am asking that you all do is you go out there and do your research. Do digging like this. Put pieces of the puzzle together. Put vocabulary together. See the interconnected partnerships and see it for what it really truly is, which is a massive restructuring of the financial system. Many blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.